Hello, brothers and sisters. It's a new week, and I thank you very much for watching our show titled Speak of Africa. We have a whole lot of news for you, but before we begin, let us say thank you to all our subscribers. We've noticed that a lot of you are subscribing to the show. We thank you very much for the trust and confidence you've placed in us. For those who are watching this show for the first time, we say thank you for joining the Speak of Africa family. Finally, we want to say thank you to those who have been sending us news, our citizen journalists. You send us a lot of stories. Without you, we will not be able to do this show. So we want to say special thank you. We're not ignoring the customers that we have. Part of the comments we get all the time is, Prince Ojong, it looks like you are too pro-business. Yes, I'm pro-business because what Africa needs to do to move forward is to be pro-business. Every country you see in the world supports business interests. By contrast, Africans are dumb. They think that being in business is a bad idea. Look at the United States. They are all over Africa taking resources. Why? Because that's what their governments do. They want to take resources. They want to do business. They want to win. So it's time for Africans to start thinking differently. Today, we've noticed that the major story is the G20 Summit in India. The Indian leader, Modi, wanted Africa to have a seat. As the African Union, they have a seat. Azali, the president of the Comoros Islands, is the present president of the African Union. So he represented the motherland. All the 54 countries in the motherland were represented. So this is a major move. So Africa being at the G20 Summit means the Africans want to play on the world stage. To play on the world stage means that Africa wants to be seen, Africa wants to be recognized, and this is what the African youth have been clamoring for. We want recognition, we want respect, we want our fair share of resources, we want to withdraw the partnership agreements we had with colonial powers like France. That's why there's a lot of commotion in a lot of the French colonies. All those pacts have to be redone. So there's anti-French feeling that keeps rising every day. We'll take you to Ambazonia as an example. The people are tired of the French influence. They are telling their Cameroonian counterparts, listen, if you guys want to stay with France, then let us go our own way. We want to go. And some people are telling me, oh, Prince Ojong, you're wasting your time. There's nothing happening in Ambazonia. Well, on this show, we always tell you the truth because we have guys on the ground who feed us with information. The Ambazonia revolution is not dead. The revolution continues. It has changed its face. It's a lot different now. But it is still lethal to be in Ambazonia. Ambazonia is still hell on earth. Look at this week. A lot of action. First, General Capo and his boys did a whole lot of damage. They went to Lu village near Nigeria, in the northwest area. They stormed a military outpost and carted a lot of weapons away. And you can see a lot of weapons were taken. And we hear a lot of casualties were also reported.
Okay, today the 6th of September, now the material this we don't have a stamp for come gendarmerie yesterday, and due to the poor situation, be able to capture which way it is. Now the Ambassador Defense Forces of the state led by Major General Lieutenant General Capo, General Butcher of Windamish, Commander One Mama, Commander Issa Arafat. Yasser Arafat. So with Commander Nema, Commander Daniel. So then the material this way we run broke the gendarmerie. Commander Slow Poison. Yeah, now the material in this. And now the document in this way the Frogs La Republic. They use them now for try for occupy the land. And the free have is this Okada. Now see now will Lieutenant General Capo Now the material this way come for the place. And another half is that fresh bike. With all the strong fighters where they did it presently for defend the land, for make America understand say this land belong to the people of southern Cameroon, the enemy people of southern Cameroon. The land belong to them. Now I come for the other side. Now the material in this, now see fresh harvest. Now the Ambassador Defense Forces today from Bui State and Dongamantum. So we don't clear that border, the border between Ambazonian and Nigeria. And we pray with other brothers within Nigeria, say, may we join together for fight the war one time because enemy for we middle you know so exists.
So is this a place where there's no problem? No, the revolution is still going on. So the guys are still fighting. Imagine, you may say these guys are not like Field Marshal or some of these other big guys, General Ivo, but they are disenfranchised. They are not happy with the status quo. They don't have any bright future. So with a gun, they become almost a man. Just like Richard Wright says in his play, almost a man. When I have a gun, I'm almost a man. I can steal. I can use my gun to steal. My gun empowers me to be a real man, so I can get whatever I want. Before I was weak because I did not have a gun. Now I have a gun and I can use this gun to feed myself. That's what the youth of Ambazonia are doing today. We've said it before that it is high time this diabolic government of Paul Biya decides to put an end to this nonsense. But is he listening? He's not listening. Look at Limbe, the place we used to call Victoria during the colonial days. People have been saying that, oh, the Ambazonian struggle is not affecting Limbe. But this Friday, some of you sent us pictures. An IED was placed somewhere around a bar where a lot of people drink. Fortunately, a lot of people were not present at the time. But we understand one person died and there were a lot of injuries to be found. Okay? Then what about Monya? Monya is also another small village near Boya. I went to school in Boya, Moliko, so I know that area very well. I also went to Sasa, so I know the whole area. Michael Bibi, one of the Catholic priests, was complaining about the attack. The Ambazonian guys attacked Monya and they burned a lot of vehicles. So is this a place where the Ambazonian revolution has ended? The guys are still trying to enforce Ghost Town. When they say don't come out, don't come out. When you come out, you bear the brunt of their anger. So the guys are really angry. So Biya needs to sit down. Biya now is a senile dictator. He's not thinking straight. He's thinking he can stay in power and he will not negotiate with anybody. But the Ambazonians now are teaching him a bitter lesson because they are coming out and fighting and fighting and fighting. So if somebody tells you the Ambazonia revolt has ended, they are giving you wrong information. If you're on this show, we're telling you that it's continuing. And again, we saw that this week with the arrest of Eric Tato, one of the activists of the Ambazonian revolution. The Cameroon government started exploiting his arrest to make it look as if they arrested him because of Ambazonia. That's far from the truth. We're here to set the record straight. Based on the legal documents that we saw online, and we can share them with you, the United States versus Eric Tato. Eric Tato was not arrested because of his Ambazonia activism. He was arrested because of personal issues that had to do with his taxes, okay, with his finances, witness tampering. So that's not why Eric Tato was arrested. He was arrested for personal reasons. Of course, you guys always want to say Ayabacho is the architect of the armed struggle. So he has remained focused on that, and the armed struggle continues. So don't let anybody fool you that it has ended. The armed struggle continues, and that's what we have to tell you about Ambazonia. So you guys love it. So we've given you all the main stories in Ambazonia. Then what about La République? La République is a place where Paul Biya is gripped by fear. The coup d'etat in Gabon has put Biya in a funk, okay? He's confused, he doesn't know what to do. He's so afraid that another coup will happen. Remember, in La République du Cameroun, there was a coup in 1984 against Paul Biya. He was saved by one Ambazonian called General Ivor de Sancio. Today, General Ivor Desancio is in charge of the presidential guard of Mr. Paul Biya. So already, after Mr. Biya has reshuffled his military, people are thinking, who is the best placed person who can organize a coup d'etat against Mr. Biya? All eyes are on General Ivor Desancio. He is in charge of the Republican Guard, and they are afraid that he may organize something. Today, they believe he is very, very loyal to Biya. But today, someone who is loyal may not be loyal tomorrow. Look at Brice Nguema in Gabon. He used to be a loyalist of the Bongo family. He served the father as aide-de-camp, and he was in charge of the Republican Guard in Gabon. But he was the one who masterminded the coup against Ali Bongo. So if you are talking about loyalty, human beings change. So General Ivor Desancio may organize a coup d'etat against Biya or somebody close to him. Because the way we are looking, most of the coups that are happening now, they are palace coups. They are bloodless. So an insider always comes in and tries to do the job. Because people who are outside find it difficult to penetrate the fortress of all these presidential palaces. Maybe the people know that the center of power in most African countries is the presidency. Most of those presidents have weakened all the state institutions. The National Assembly and the courts, they are all weak. The coup plotters attack the presidency. Okay? They attack the presidency because they know that once they take down the presidency, the whole country goes down. And it happens all the time, just the way we're telling you. So now, that's one person that the Biya government is afraid of. They trust him, but they know that you cannot trust anybody. So I know there will be a lot of tension on General Ivor Desancio because he saved Mr. Biya during the coup of 1984. He was compensated with the position of a general. Since the Ambazonian revolution has been going on, people have been thinking, maybe they have killed him or something has happened, but he remains in Biya's army. But this is not a good move because a lot of Ambazonians are having it tough. There's one guy called Eta George, an Ambazonian who is in B, Bataillon d'Intervention Rapide. A superior of his killed him because he was mocking him, calling him an Ambazonian. And finally, he used his gun to kill Eta George. So this is sending shockwaves in the regime of Paul Biya. They feel like the military guys have a lot of guns and weapons. Will they take on the presidential palace by accident? Which is what the Biya government is afraid of. So they are watching all their guys. So the military is on high alert. They are watching everybody who may be thinking of organizing a coup d'etat, just like the guys did in Gabon, Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. So they are watching very, very closely. Okay? Then another guy too that the Biya government is watching very closely is Rear Admiral Joseph Fouda. This guy has been the aide-de-camp of Paul Biya for a very long time. He has his detractors and he has his supporters. But people are thinking, if a coup d'etat is going to be organized, this close collaborator of Paul Biya's will be a target. So people are looking at him. If a coup d'etat will happen, guys like this probably will be part of the deal. If the other guys organize a coup, they will bring him because they need his loyalty. Remember, we're going to give you the basics, the 5 steps of a coup d'etat. When you organize it, you need people who can support you on your team. Because generally you have friends, enemies, and pragmatists. Pragmatists are in the middle. Friends are supporting the coup, enemies are against the coup. So you want to make sure that you don't reveal information quickly. So these are the 2 guys in Cameroon that we are afraid they may organize a coup. Okay? And these are the people Biya is afraid of. He is really afraid of them. Very, very much afraid. And of course, why not? Because the guys are the inner circle. They have access to the palace. So they are the first people who can take Mr. Biya down. So Mr. Biya is putting a lot of attention on all these guys so that they should not organize a coup. The army is divided, but the division will not make it difficult for a coup d'etat to happen. Because if a coup d'etat is to happen, it will happen. It's inevitable. All the reshuffling of military fight is just a waste of time. We've said this before. The next coup d'etat is going to happen in Cameroon. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Okay? So Biya, watch out. The plans Mr. Biya has written for his own succession have to be put aside. They have to be put asunder because they're not going to work. The coup plotters have a new plan. How is this going to end? the succession of Mr. Biya is not going to be decided by Paul Biya himself. Is it going to be decided by Maurice Kamto? No, Maurice Kamto is out of the way. What about Frank Biya? No, Frank Biya is wasting his time. The most likely scenario we see in La République du Cameroon is the military taking over. Okay, that's what's going to happen. Because every other option is off the table. The military option is the only viable option. So keep watching. Coup d'etat, you are coming to Cameroon. Coup d'etat, you're coming to Cameroon. We even understand that in Burkina Faso, we've heard rumors of another coup d'etat against Ibrahim Traoré. He has just been there just for a few months. But it seems as if the guys want to take him down. And some of the people who want to take him down are pro-French. So you see this jockeying for power. People who are pro-France and people who are against France. They don't like this rapprochement with Russia. Because when you look at the last summit in St. Petersburg, the African summit, Ibrahim Traoré was so pro-Russia to a point that he turned off a lot of his own people. He's young, he makes a lot of noise, but we don't really see the concrete achievements. Every day we see people dying in Burkina Faso. 50 military guys were killed by jihadists. When Ibrahim Traoré is talking about taking his soldiers to Niger to fight, why can he not even fight at home? How is he going to be able to fight in Niger? So I ask myself, what are people thinking? This guy makes a lot of noise like I'm the next Sankara. Solve basic problem first. Just talking is not going to help your country.
Tired of waiting in long lines at the emergency room or your doctor's office? You should be. Why wait in long lines for care? It's time for you to come to Lucille Urgent Care. Real care, no waiting. Lucille Urgent Care, the best place for true and loving care. Service at Lucille Urgent Care is convenient, fast, time-efficient, affordable, accessible, transparent, and cost-effective. Royal treatment is your right. Indeed, it's not just a privilege or pejorative. Skip the emergency room's long lines, kiss the ER goodbye, say farewell to your old doctor's office, pay less, save time, enjoy the excitement of convenience, receive immediate treatment, get the healthcare you need quickly and affordably. Lucille Urgent Care offers many express services: rapid COVID-19 testing, on-site prescription, preventative lab services, imaging and x-rays, urgent medical treatment for common illnesses and injuries, routine vaccines and flu shots, work-related injury services, pre-employment, occupational, annual, and sports physicals, immigration exams, and much more. Same-day treatment, rapid lab results, extended hours, weekend hours, no appointment necessary, no insurance necessary, no doctor necessary, walk-ins accepted, telemedicine available. We are open 7 days a week with evening and weekend hours. We are located in Maryland. Lucille Urgent Care, 903 Half York Road, Towson, Maryland, 21204. Website, lucilleuc.com. Call at 443-275-1286 or 301-593-4897.
Then we take you to the Central African Republic. What is happening in the Central African Republic? The strong man who used to be responsible for a lot of the killings, he has been arrested by a court in Bangui. So is there going to be any justice? The problems in the Central African Republic are just too many, and we don't want to talk. But when we keep talking, they take us to memory lane. We can even go to Chile. Chile is not an African country, but it just shows us how bad some of these coups d'etats are. Because the coup d'etat that happened in Chile in 1973 was a landmark coup. It has all the hallmarks which we have as we're going to teach you about coup d'etats. Most generals and officers in the army are taught how to conduct coup d'etats in military schools. In Chile, in 73, you had a very perfect example. And today marks the anniversary of this coup in Chile. Salvador Allende, the president, was forced to commit suicide by Augusto Pinochet. Augusto Pinochet was an army general who was a puppet of the United States. The United States used him to overthrow Salvador Allende. And Augusto Pinochet's troops stormed the palace, and Augusto Pinochet's troops killed a lot of people, burned the whole presidential palace to the ground. For over 30 years, Pinochet became a big-time dictator. America was trying to fight communism, so they did not want a Marxist government like the government of Salvador Allende. So it's a really sad coup in history. We're just lucky that our coups in Africa has not been that bloody. It's because the guys chose to use insiders to organize these coups. When you look at the coup in Gabon, it was done by an insider. Brice Oligui Nguema is an insider. Now, Gabon has nominated a new prime minister, a guy who used to be prime minister before, but he fell out with Ali Bongo, so they are bringing him back to the limelight, so he's going to rule Gabon as the prime minister. Isn't that funny? That's really funny. But before we continue, we want to tell you that Morocco had an earthquake. Over 2,000 people have lost their lives, and we want to take a moment to say we're sorry, and we pray for the people who have lost their lives, and we pray for the families who have lost loved ones in Morocco. Okay. Niger. Well, Niger is a big story. Unlike the coup in Gabon, the French are not happy with the coup in Niger. Why? Because the coup in Gabon is just like a palace coup. You take out a brother who is weak and cannot do the business and bring somebody who is effective, who can do the job. Ali Bongo was sick and they wanted him to sit aside, but he did not want it. He wanted to be president. So his own cousin deposed him. In Niger, you have more of a revolution. They want to really kick the French out. Already, the French have a lot of soldiers in Niger. And Emmanuel Macron is saying he does not recognize the junta. Because he does not recognize the junta want all those French soldiers to leave those bases and return to France. Emmanuel Macron is now busy negotiating with the junta. But the junta is suspecting that Emmanuel Macron is preparing for military action. They're using ECOWAS to bring soldiers so that they can topple the junta. So things are really tight. On the surface, it looks like there's a return to normalcy in Niger. But when you look deeper, there are undercurrents. France, under Emmanuel Macron, is fighting back. In the old days, France would have taken out the junta a long time ago. But it looks like because of the bad image of France, France is afraid to just do it. So they're looking for an African to do the dirty job for them. And that's where ECOWAS under Bola Tinubu stands. They will be able to do the dirty job of the West. Because the West is not supporting the coup in Niger. They are supporting the coup in Gabon because their boy has left, but the Bongo dynasty remains in power. So long as that dynasty remains in power, then it's not a coup. Because when you look at the way coups are organized in Africa, okay, you have some elements to make for a good coup. You have to choose a very good team. You have to know who are your friends, who are your enemies, and who are the pragmatists. Your enemies are supporting the government. Your friends, who are your allies, are supporting you. In the middle, you have pragmatists, people who don't care what happens in the country. They are on both sides. If you win, they are happy with you. If the other side wins, they are happy with them. So those are pragmatists. So the next element, number 3, you have to be swift, fast. If you waste time, things may not go well. So it's like you want to do a coup d'etat, make sure that before it's noon, your coup is done. Okay? If you look at most coups, timing and the time, boop, be very swift. 4, don't call it a coup. Most of the time, the guys don't call it a coup. They just say, oh, no, we just had to change clean house. They come with different justifications. 5, make sure you have a godfather who is a superpower. Whenever you see most of these coups succeed, a superpower is supporting the coup. Either that superpower is America, the superpower is China, the superpower is Russia, in that order. So that's what makes for a coup. And when you look at most of the coups that have just taken place in Africa, Mali, Guinea, Sudan, they have all these elements, okay? They have all these elements.
Do you need tax preparation services? We can help. Contact PJ Tax Service, America's only full-time income tax preparers. Like the good old doctor, we do not close our doors after April 15th. In fact, we stay open all year round in order to serve you. We are located at 11207A, Lockwood Drive, Silver Spring, Maryland, 20901. Make an appointment today with Prince Ojong, your tax expert. Call 240-350-1131 or visit us on the web at www.pjtaxservice.com.
Next, we take you to Senegal. In Senegal, Amadou Ba, the Prime Minister of Macky Sall, has been presented as the candidate for the election of 2024 in February. What about Ousmane Sonko? That's the question on the minds of a lot of Senegalese. It looks like Macky Sall wants to sideline Ousmane Sonko to make room for Amadou Ba, who is his prime minister. How are the people of Senegal going to take it? Well, it remains to be seen. So we are watching, and we're telling you, keep watching, because there's a lot coming, okay? What about South Africa? Well, in South Africa, we are greeted by the news of the death of the Zulu king, Buthelezi. You remember back in the 90s, his Inca party was really wreaking havoc in the country. He had a more conciliatory posture with the apartheid regime of South Africa, so they were against the other Africans. He used to be part of the ANC, then he fell out with the ANC and created the Inkatha Freedom Party. So he has died, so this is the sunset of an era, the apartheid era, okay, where you have an African supporting the white regime. Isn't that sad? Every day, a lot of Africans were losing their lives. Then finally, we take you to Zambia. Zambia, this is the new government of Hakainde Hichilema. He had just been president for a while. He took over from Edgar Lungu. But today, we got news that Edgar Lungu's wife was arrested for crimes. Whether she was trying to steal a car, forge documents for real estate. She's like a petty thief. What are the truths about all of this? We don't know what the truth is. So we have to investigate, and we'll let you know next week. But the bigger story in Zambia is the story of the liquidation of the copper mines. It looks like the copper mines were about to be liquidated, but some creditors have come up with money, so they will save these copper mines from liquidation. But are the people even benefiting from the wealth coming from these copper mines? We don't think so. Zambia has a whole lot of problems. Kenneth Kaunda had said Zambia shall be free. But up to now, Zambia is not free. Under Edgar Lungu, Zambia was under Chinese influence. Even signs in the capital were in Chinese. So China was already taking over this whole country. The people have resources, but they don't enjoy these resources. Foreigners are taking over the resources. So we think we've come to the end of our show, and we've educated you on all these coup d'etats. So if you have any questions, feel free to write to us. We'd like to get your comments. We'll get few comments. We want more comments. So respond to the content. Don't feel like, oh, maybe we may not like what you have to say. No, we have an open mind. We welcome comments from all our viewers. Please send your comments. Send us material for next shows. If there's something we've not covered and you want us to cover it, tell us, send a comment, use the video on YouTube to send your comments, and we'll respond. Thank you very much. May God bless you. Bye-bye.
.com.
Do you need tax preparation services? We can help. Contact PJ Tax Service, America's only full-time income tax preparers. Like the good old doctor, we do not close our doors after April 15th. In fact, we stay open all year round in order to serve you. We are located at 11207A, Lockwood Drive, Silver Spring, Maryland, 20901. Make an appointment today with Prince Ojong, your tax expert. Call 240-350-1131 or visit us on the web at www.pjtaxservice.com.
Selling a service or a product? Need buyers? Use the African Nation TV as a channel to reach many viewers. Act now and call Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131. That's 240-350-1131. Act today.